LSJ Drive. Good afternoon, you are listening to LSJ Drive on this sunny Thursday. I am your host Ella Hull and I'll be with you for the next half an hour. We have a great show for you this afternoon, full of news and sport for you to enjoy wherever you are. Coming up today, the scheme Ask for Angela turns 10 this year. We hear from the bar that was the first to use the phrase. And with spring showers starting up again, how are they affecting golf clubs? All this and even more on LSJ Drive. Up first today, Lincolnshire police have confirmed a man has died following a road traffic accident in Lincoln this morning. 2 vehicles and a HGV carrying livestock were involved in the collision on the A46 Lincoln bypass. Our reporter Ashley Betts has the latest. Can you tell us what exactly has occurred?
So what we know is that there was a road traffic collision at Skillingthorpe roundabout just after 10 a.m. this morning on the A46 Lincoln bypass. We know that 3 vehicles were involved, including a HGV, which was carrying cows.
Has there been any updates on the conditions of anyone else involved?
So we know that a man died at the scene, but there's not been any update on anybody else. National Highways confirmed emergency services were in attendance, including Lincolnshire and Nottinghamshire Air Ambulance. As well as Lincolnshire Fire and Rescue have confirmed large transport vehicles from Louth and Grantham were in attendance, along with animal rescue teams.
This is a major road in Lincoln. What issues has this caused for road users?
So the closure of a major roundabout is obviously causing delays all over the city, with no update as to when the road will reopen, but Lincolnshire Police have said it will be closed for most of the day. They have set up diversions around Lincoln. The A46 is closed between Carhome Road and Doddington Roundabout. Like I said, the city is very busy, so delays are to be expected, especially during rush hour.
Perfect. Thanks, Ashley. On to some news on golf now. With spring showers approaching, are our local golf clubs struggling to stay afloat? Our reporter, Dylan Kersley, went to find out.
Spring is marked on every golfer's calendar as the start of the season. The longer and warmer days mean more time out on the course after battling through the dreaded winter golf period. But with spring comes rain, and lots of it here in Lincoln. Lincolnshire is known for its chalk streams and limestone aquifer, which can become saturated by spring showers. Localised flooding can occur quickly when the groundwater levels rise. Here at Carhome Golf Club in the west end of the city, they know these facts all too well. With just the path separating the course from Foss Dyke, the fairways often spend the spring underwater. I went to chat to Carhome Golf Club's head greenskeeper Paul Ross to see how his team are battling the wet weather.
There's a few low points on the course, and obviously the water just gathers in these low points. I mean, we've got ditches to take it away, but they can't cope with the sheer amount of the water, so holes end up getting shut down.
Paul went on to tell me of his experience battling the floods in 2023, which saw the entire south side of the course completely submerged.
Manning pumps 24 hours a day to pump the water off. OAPs, wheelbarrows, from here all the way down to where the breach was, which is about 400 or 500 yards, wheelbarrow in sandbags. That's fantastic. You don't get that in many places.
I headed inside to speak with Carhome's Honorary Secretary, Jim Sweeney, to find out how the weather can affect a golf club financially at this time of year.
We've reduced the green fees. Membership's very understanding, and they still come out and play the golf and that. And of course it's winter golf, so it is wet this year. But obviously, we have to reduce the green fees.
For many senior members here, golf is more than just a pastime. This may be the only point in the week that certain members can get out and socialise, and the club are working tirelessly to keep this course open and facilitate that. The Met Office have predicted a slightly drier spring than those of the past, but the members and staff here certainly do still bear the scars of old, and will be hoping that their club can stay dry this spring.
Dylan Kersley with that report. I'm now joined by my sidekick, Owen Hardwick. Owen, what have you got for us?
I've got you a bit of a history and science and that sort of quiz today.
Okay.
So, the first question. Which Lincolnshire town was once home to Sir Isaac Newton during his time at the King's School? Is it A, Grantham, B, Louth, or C, Boston?
Well, that's a good question. I was actually in one of these towns this week, and I did see a statue of Isaac Newton there, so my guess is going to be A, Grantham.
And you would be correct.
Ooh.
1 for 1, and it is Grantham that he was once residing in.
Wow, thank you very much, Owen. Now, in other news, Women's History Month is coming to a close as Lincoln say goodbye to the Museum of Me. Over the last 4 weeks, the Travelling Museum has helped the city celebrate the ordinary things about people's lives with their collections of memorabilia and personal stories showcasing the women of Lincoln. Our reporter Ella Bebbington visited these displays, finding out more about how Lincoln celebrated Women's History Month.
Women's History Month has come to Lincoln, and the Lincoln City Foundation, alongside the University of Lincoln, the John Dorber Gardens and the Usher Gallery, have played their part in celebrating women in Lincoln. Partnering up with the Museum of Me project, a community-focused art project and exhibition that celebrates the lives of ordinary people, these organisations have helped to coordinate a citywide travelling museum to celebrate Women's History Month. Over the past 4 weeks, museum displays have popped up across the city in association with the 4 organisers, celebrating women from all different walks of life. To find out more, I got in my car and went to speak to Amelia Zerka, community leader at the foundation and one of the organisers of the project.
So the Museum of Me is essentially a touring museum all about inspirational women across the city. So we were selected as one of the partners within the project, along with the Arts Centre, Dorber Gardens and the Usher Gallery, to choose kind of 5 inspirational women who work with us or are involved with us in some way, shape or form and showcase their stories.
It's hoped that something like the Museum of Me can be a permanent fixture in the city, helping to celebrate not only women in Lincoln but also women in sport. The foundation, who have recently undergone an array of changes in their girls' pathways and the merger of the Lincoln women's team, want something like this now more than ever to help people appreciate what makes women extraordinary.
It was really beautiful to showcase kind of things that are just parts of our ordinary lives and make them extraordinary, which I think is the main idea. And the fact that it's showcasing women, and I think women in football is something that kind of goes through ebbs and flows of being talked about. And we've gone through a lot of change here with our girls' pathway and the Lincoln women's team having kind of been separated and then kind of come together between Lincoln United and Lincoln Women's.
The Museum of Me is a project that travels all over the country, celebrating ordinary people's contributions and making them amazing. The project leaves Lincoln behind with a new appreciation for celebrating the little things in what is one of the most important times of year for women's history.
Let's have a look at what's going on today and in the coming week here in Lincoln. If you want to enjoy the sunshine and spend a day out with the family, be sure to head to the Indigo Crow Gallery in Lincoln, where an interwoven exhibition of glass, felt ceramics and paintings are being displayed. Looking ahead this week, check out the Space Safari Drone Light Show, taking place between 4 and 9 p.m. on the 29th of March at the Lincolnshire Showground for some family fun. Finally, there's no better way to celebrate Easter weekend than heading to the Easter Extravaganza at Rand Farm Park, Lincoln. It is a fully immersive Easter experience with storytellers, Easter characters and live interactions which bring the magic to life. Now, moving on to the anniversary of a phrase that many will know and unfortunately may have used when made to feel uncomfortable or unsafe. This year, Ask for Angela reaches a 10-year milestone with its aim to improve safety of anyone who is feeling vulnerable or harassed during their time in bars, restaurants or clubs. But what you may be surprised to find out is that it all began here in Lincoln. Here to tell us more is our reporter Merrin Hobson.
You may be familiar with the posters in bathroom stalls and around hospitality venues informing you to ask for Angela when you are faced with an uncomfortable or unsafe situation. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of this safety arrangement, and to many people's surprise, it originated here in Lincoln. While it may be strange to celebrate such a milestone, Ask for Angela has been acknowledged for the improved safety of venues across the UK and even expanding globally, from Australia to Argentina. Courtney Harrison, Marketing Coordinator at Lincoln Big, tells us more about why this scheme is honoured here in Lincoln.
It's really nice to think, little old Lincoln, actually, we were really hot on it at the time, we were ahead of the time, and we welcomed it with open arms because for all the big organisations in Lincoln that work together, our main thing is keeping people safe in this city, and we just saw that there was a need for it.
Ask for Angela was created in 2016 by Hayley Crawford in memory of her friend Angela Phillips, who was tragically killed by her husband, and with this scheme she aimed to fight against violence against women. Although a popular scheme now, Ask for Angela began with one pub who was the first to accept and utilise these safety methods, that being the Straight and Narrow in Lincoln. Jez Nash, an owner at the Straight and Narrow, tells us more.
Hayley Crawford, who came up with the Ask for Angela, brought it to the pubs of Lincoln at the time, and they didn't want to do it. And I said, well, look, it's something that you should be doing anyway. Well, screw it. If nobody wants to do it, we'll do it.
Unfortunately, safety is never guaranteed while enjoying a night out. However, Ask for Angela has clearly made a positive impact on safety, with a 2025 survey by Serve Legal finding 85% of respondents felt this initiative makes venues safer. The Straight and Narrow are one of many bars training staff to discreetly intervene when needed. Posters are also available in bathroom stalls, informing the public on what to do. Jez Nash told us what Ask for Angela has meant for the city.
I certainly think the fact that it started here shows people that this is a city that takes the safety of people seriously, and the safety of women seriously.
Although Lincoln initiated Ask for Angela, the city continues to maintain its safety for residents and visitors, with Lincoln Big even relaunching the initiative to update branding and raise awareness. Merrin Hobson, LSJ Drive.
Now, lots of international sport news this week, but remaining close to home, England's men's team hosts Uruguay in an international friendly ahead of the 2026 World Cup. With key players missing, there's a real opportunity for players to impress Thomas Tuchel. Our reporter George Allen can tell us more. So George, who's unavailable for this game?
Well, in Thomas Tuchel's squad that is called up, there are 11 players that are unavailable for England after being given a mid-season break due to the intense fixture schedule. Those players include Dean Henderson, Dan Burn, Mark Gahey, Ezri Konsa, Nico O'Reilly, Elliot Anderson, Declan Rice, Morgan Rogers, Anthony Gordon, Harry Kane and Bukayo Saka.
And what does this mean for other players in the squad?
Well, it definitely gives other players a chance to gain a cap and impress Thomas Tuchel to try and make their way into the World Cup squad this summer. Dominic Solanke and Dominic Calvert-Lewin can get that rare look in due to Harry Kane being absent, and there's also a chance that Harry Maguire has the opportunity to play for England for the first time since September 2024. Jude Bellingham could also feature against Japan, but not in contention to face Uruguay after recently coming back from injury.
And what do we know about the opposition?
Well, former Leeds United manager Marcelo Bielsa named his first Uruguay squad, and the 28-man group features European football stars such as Barcelona's Ronald Araujo, Manchester United midfielder Manuel Ugarte and Tottenham Hotspur midfielder Rodrigo Bentancur. The danger man for the Sky Blues are without a doubt Real Madrid's Federico Valverde and former Liverpool striker Darwin Núñez.
So what happened last time the teams met?
You'll have to go back quite a while, because the last time these sides faced each other was in 2014 at the World Cup in Brazil, when Uruguay came out 2-1 winners thanks to a brace from Luis Suarez.
Thanks George, looks like we're in for a good game. Time for the news now. Owen Hardwick is here to tell us the latest.
Lincolnshire police have confirmed a man has died following a road traffic accident on Skellingthorpe Roundabout at 10 a.m. this morning. The collision involved two cars and one HGV carrying livestock. The A46 remains closed between Doddington Road and Carhome Roundabout, with the police expecting it to remain closed for most of the day. Motorists are being advised to take alternative routes until the area is cleared. Lincolnshire police are appealing for any witnesses to contact them if they have any footage or witnessed the crash. Kent's meningitis outbreak has prompted a rush of vaccinations in England after 2 teenagers died and 18 left hospitalised. School immunisation services and pharmacies have reported a surge in demand for routine vaccinations after the outbreak, with figures showing that only 72% of Year 9 pupils received the vaccine prior to this. 4-year-old RJ has been recognised with an award from East Midlands Ambulance Service after calmly calling 999 when his mum collapsed whilst getting ready for school. They said he was remarkable. He gave him his full name, his mum's name, their road, the colour of their front door, and even the colour of their car. With his help, his mum has made a full recovery. And finally, Lincoln City and Exeter City have both been fined for failing to control players and staff during a post-match melee. The Football Association charged the clubs for failing to ensure their players and staff behave properly, with Lincoln being fined £15,000 and Exeter £10,000, and that's the latest.
LSJ Travel.
And now for your travel, the A46 remains closed between Doddyton Road and Carhome Road roundabouts due to an overturned lorry carrying livestock. Skellingthorpe Road has been closed on both sides of the A46. This is causing delays along Carhome Road, Cannock Hill, Yarborough Road and Tritton Road. Usual rush hour traffic along these roads will be longer than expected due to the closure of the road. And for your weather, heading into this evening across Lincolnshire, it's turning chillier, with plenty of cloud around and a chance of patchy rain or drizzle moving through later on. Overnight temperatures dipping down to around 4 to 6 degrees, so a cool one if you're heading out. Looking ahead to tomorrow, it's a bit of a mixed bag, cloudy spells with a few brighter breaks, but still the risk of scattered showers drifting through. Temperatures reaching around 10 to 11 degrees. And into the weekend, it stays on the cooler side. Saturday and Sunday both seeing highs of around 9 to 12 degrees, with a mix of sunny intervals and the odd shower, so definitely keep a coat on if you're heading out.
That's your travel and weather update.
LSJ Sport.
And on to sport news now. Here's George with the latest.
Transgender women athletes have been banned from female Olympic events. This follows a ruling from the International Olympic Committee, and the restriction applies to eligibility for any female category event at the Olympic Games or any other IOC event, including individual and team sports. They'll now be limited to biological females determined on the basis of a one-time gene test. The fate of Wales and Northern Ireland's places at the World Cup could be decided tonight, as both nations are in action this evening. Wales take on Bosnia-Herzegovina in Cardiff, and Northern Ireland go to Italy, with manager Michael O'Neill saying his squad will go to Italy with nothing to fear. If both sides win, they will face each other in Tuesday night's final. Wales manager Craig Bellamy spoke on tonight's crucial game.
The key for us is always to dominate the tempo of the game. We need to speed it up, we speed it up. We need to slow it down, we slow it down. And be patient. It's always key. It's always key. And that doesn't change.
Premier League darts returns tonight in Germany as reigning champion Luke Littler will be in action against Stephen Bunting in the quarter-finals. The night will kick off with Johnny Clayton against Josh Rock, with Clayton hoping to keep his place at the top of the table. Luke Humphries faces off against Michael van Gerwen in the second quarter-final, and Gerwyn Price will face Gian Van Veen after Van Veen missed last week's game against Van Gerwen through illness. London Marathon organisers are considering staging next year's event across 2 days. There's been no approval as of the moment, but organisers are looking for ways to enable more people to take part. This news comes after a record 1.1 million people applied to take part in the 2026 edition, 36% more than last year. A London Marathon events spokesperson said that the London Marathon is the world's most popular marathon, and we are continually exploring innovative ways to enable more people to take part. On to local football, and Scunthorpe United are in action away against FC Halifax at 3 p.m. on Saturday in the National League. The Iron are undefeated in 4 games and grabbed an impressive draw against Rochdale, top of the table, to keep them in hopes of finishing in the top 3. Gainsborough Trinity are at home to Warrington Rylands in the Northern Premier Division, and a win could see the Holy Blues push them into a playoff position with just 6 games remaining this season. Spalding United are in action this weekend in the Southern Football League Premier Division Central as they take on Bromsgrove Sporting. The Tulips will be looking to close the gap on the top of the table Harbour Town with 6 points separated sides and 6 points remaining. On the topic of non-league football, this Saturday is also non-league day, backed by Premier League and Football League clubs. The aim of the day is to encourage and promote the importance of community-led football while giving fans across the country a chance to support their local club. I know I'll always be supporting mine, and you can find out your local club on their website. Back to you, Ella.
Now, if you're a dog owner looking for a reason to get out and about this spring, this could be right up your street. Hannah Moore is here to tell us about the Stand Up to Cancer Walkies Challenge. What's it all about?
Well, it's a really positive and accessible fundraising challenge set up by Stand Up to Cancer that brings together dog lovers from across the UK. The idea is simple. People sign up and aim to walk 60 miles throughout April with their dog, all while raising money for Stand Up to Cancer. That could be a couple miles a day or longer walks at the weekend. This challenge isn't about being super fit or competitive. It's about setting a personal goal, getting outside and doing something meaningful with your pet. And of course, every step helps raise vital funds for cancer research. I was able to speak to Cancer Research UK volunteer Alex Mason about this challenge.
Walkies has always been a powerful word, but now we're giving it new meaning. We're asking the dog walking community to take part in something fun this April that could help make the next cancer research breakthrough happen.
That sounds good. And when does the challenge begin?
It all kicks off on the 1st of April and runs throughout the month, so participants have 30 days to reach that 60-mile target or even go beyond if they're feeling ambitious. It's a nice way to build a healthy routine as we move into spring, and a lot of people find it really motivating having that clear goal to work towards each day.
So just how important is this fundraising?
It's hugely important. 1 in 2 people in the UK will be diagnosed with cancer at some point in their lifetime. Since it launched back in 2012, Stand Up to Cancer has raised over £113 million, funding more than 60 clinical trials and research products, involving over 13,000 patients. The money raised goes towards accelerating new treatments, things like developing ways to supercharge the immune system, or even reprogramming viruses to target cancer cells. So events like this really do play a part in saving lives.
And where exactly does the money go from this challenge?
One of the reassuring things about the campaign is that 100% of donations go directly to Stand Up to Cancer. That means every single pound raised is an investment into life-saving research, helping scientists turn lab discoveries into real treatments much faster.
And I suppose there are benefits beyond fundraising too.
Definitely, walking regularly can help reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve overall fitness. Not just for you, but for your dog as well. It's also a great excuse to explore new places locally and spend more time together. So you've got physical benefits, mental well-being, and the knowledge that you're contributing to something much bigger. Alex also commented on this.
There are lots of benefits to taking part in our dog walking challenge, especially the chance to improve your fitness while raising vital funds. We need as many people as possible to take part because the progress we make in the fight against the disease relies on every person and every pound raised.
It sounds like something anyone with a dog could take part in. How can people get involved?
Well, it's really straightforward. You just head to the Stand Up to Cancer website and sign up online. Once you've registered, you'll receive a free dog bandana and a challenge pack full of tips and ideas to help you hit your goal. There's also a dedicated Facebook group where participants can share their progress, get encouragement, and swap stories. It really builds a sense of community around the challenge, which helps people stay motivated.
What a great cause. Thanks, Hannah. Now let's welcome back Owen to the studio for his second history quiz question.
So, which Lincolnshire-born inventor is linked to the creation of the first working tank in World War I? Is it A, James Watt, B, Alexander Graham Bell, or is it C, Sir William Triton?
Well, I can rule out B straight away because he invented the telephone. So I think I'm gonna guess C. I think Sir William Triton.
And you would be correct. That's 2 for 2. And Triton has also got a road named after him.
Yes, it has. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, thanks, Owen. We'll see you in a bit for the last question.
LSJ Drive.
In Lincolnshire, a health and wellbeing event has highlighted the growing demand for spaces prioritising relaxation, self-care and mental health. On Sunday, the Walled Garden Bowling Bar hosted its annual Health and Wellbeing Day, which aimed to combat loneliness, normalise the topic of mental health and share the importance of a healthy lifestyle. With wellness events booming across the UK, the event in Horncastle saw a rise in visitors that were looking to unwind, speak with others and prioritise their well-being. Isabella joins me now. So what happened at the event?
Well, hosted on the 22nd of March, the day aimed to connect the area with local support, wellness experts and therapeutic activities and classes, such as meditation sessions and crafting workshops. Wellbeing practitioners were able to offer visitors advice and information, bringing to light the importance of self-care and managing the stresses of everyday life. I spoke to Grace Couch, event manager at Boundbar, who told me more about the day.
It's our Health and Wellbeing Day, and we do it every year, and we're hoping to grow it more and more. And it's sort of about people who are lonely, finding groups for them to attend, or it's not all just about like the spiritual mind and body. It's sort of about combating loneliness, bringing people together in the community, that sort of thing.
But why are events like this one becoming increasingly popular in the UK?
Well, a recent report from this month shows that 64% of the UK are now actively engaged in health and wellness trends, with this percentage including the participation in mindfulness days. Their popularity has been surging since the COVID-19 pandemic, which left many people feeling socially disconnected and isolated. And of course, lifestyles are constantly becoming busier and more digitalised, so this local event offered visitors a way to switch off, both physically and mentally. Grace also explained the importance of the day for the area and why it attracted unlikely visitors.
People got a chance to experience Tai Chi in a group without, committing to any membership fees. There was also a sound bath and meditation session, which is like a crystal sound bath. People find it is helpful to them.
So what was the turnout at the event?
It ran from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. and in that time the day saw an increase in people wanting to explore all different approaches to helping both their physical and mental health. Many of their treatment sessions, such as their Tai Chi, reflexology and craft classes, were fully booked, with people showing an increased interest in alternative ways of taking care of their body without the added extra of a membership fee. Following the success of this year's event, organisers at Boundbar are determined to ensure that these wellness resources and community connections remain a permanent fixture for the people of Lincolnshire.
Thanks, Isabella. And more of what's on in Lincolnshire. If you want some Easter enjoyment, head to Carlton House by Luke in Lincoln. Between the 28th and 29th of March, you can take the family to a great wreath-making workshop using a combination of green foliage, ribbons, decorative eggs and fresh dried flowers. However, if the Easter activities are too much, you can always head to Cornhill Market, where you'll be able to catch the Corn Exchange on the 28th of March. It will feature some of Lincolnshire's nicest food and greatest crafts, all of which will be available to buy. And that's what's on. This weekend, people from all over the UK are travelling to Lincoln to attend a Northern Soul event, raising money for breast and ovarian cancer. The event aims to unite music lovers and fundraisers for a day of dancing and community spirit. Sounds like a wholesome day. Here to tell us more about the event is reporter Lily May Sanders. So Lily May, what is the event for and why is it so important?
That's right. This event is all about raising money and awareness for two incredibly important causes. With roughly 1 in 7 women diagnosed with breast cancer and 1 in 50 women diagnosed with ovarian cancer in their lifetime, raising research funds like this really do make the difference. Bringing together the Northern Soul community not only supports the cause but creates an uplifting atmosphere here in Lincoln. I spoke to Isabel Hopkins, the organiser of the event. She wants people to know the importance of raising money to support cancer research.
Breast cancer, I think, is the most known about, let's say, but it's most common, let's say, in women. And the ovarian one, the awkward thing about that is a lot of people don't know they've got it till it's quite late. So I think actually raising awareness and trying to do something towards the research side of that is, important.
And for people who might not know, what is Northern Soul music?
Northern Soul is all about high energy music and dance culture. It started back in the 1960s, built around rare American soul records and a passion for all-night dancing. Traditionally, it's popular with older generations. However, there has been a recent surge with younger people bringing fresh energy to the scene. The community spans all over the UK, with people from both London and Birmingham attending this event.
And there is a very big population, if you like, of slightly older people, but not all older people, who like Northern Soul, and they still go out regularly, once or twice a week even, dancing.
And finally, what should people know if they're thinking of coming to the event?
The event is on the 28th of March, happening at the Lincoln Assembly Rooms. It starts at 2 p.m. and runs until midnight. Tickets are available to buy on the door for £20. There will be DJs, live performances and plenty of chances to win big with raffle prizes. Whether you're a Northern Soul fan or just want to support a great cause, everyone is welcome, and it promises to be a great day in Lincoln.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a fab night. Thanks, Lily May. Now, moving on to one of the biggest and most controversial stories in sport today. The International Olympic Committee has announced a major rule change ahead of the 2028 Games. Transgender women will be banned from competing in female Olympic events in a move the IOC says is about fairness and safety, but critics say it raises serious questions about inclusion and human rights. Our reporter Owen Hardwick joins us in the studio. So what exactly has been announced?
Yes, the IOC has confirmed that transgender women will no longer be allowed to compete in the female category at the Olympics, starting from the 2028 Games. Instead, eligibility for women's events will be limited to athletes classified as biological females, determined through a one-time genetic screening test. This policy will apply across all Olympic sports, both individual and team events.
And why has the IOC made this decision?
The International Olympic Committee says the decision is based on scientific evidence suggesting that athletes who have gone through male puberty may retain physical advantages, particularly in strength, speed and endurance even after transitioning. They argue the change is about protecting fairness and safety in women's sport, especially at the elite levels where small differences can decide medals.
So why is this decision so controversial?
It's hugely controversial because it sits at the intersection of sport, science and human rights. Supporters say it protects fair competition in women's sports, while the critics argue it excludes transgender athletes and could be discriminatory. The IOC itself has said the athletes should still be treated with dignity and supported, but the debate around inclusion versus fairness is far from settled.
Thank you, Owen, for providing us the latest. Okay, and we have Owen still here, our quizmaster, back again for his final history question.
So, which Lincolnshire village shares its name with a former RAF base known for its aerobatic team? Is it A, Scampton, B, Waddington, or is it C, Coningsby?
Well, I'm not too sure, so I'm going to take a guess. I am going to say B, Waddington.
Waddington is now the current one. The former one is actually A, Scampton.
Oh, no.
So the question is, what links all these three things together? Grantham, Sir William Tritton and Scampton.
Well, another good question. I'm thinking maybe it's something to do with the war, but I have no idea.
It's actually Lincolnshire's role in shaping science, innovation and aviation.
Wow. Got lots going for us, Lincolnshire, haven't we?
Very much so, very much so.
Well, thank you so much to everyone for listening to LSJ Drive with me, Ella Hull, and a huge thanks to our team here. Goodbye.